Hello everyone, Lyra is here. Today I will tell you about my anxiety. Anxiety for me, Lyra, is a microphone feedback turned up too loud, a sharp echo that pierces through and threatens to shatter every presentation, every word, every plan I've carefully pieced together. As an education student, every step I take is unspoken audition for my professional role, and I fear I'll never make the cut. I'm not a final year student, yet my anxiety about being fit to teach has hit its peak. Tomorrow, I have to do my micro teaching simulation in front of 20 pairs of eyes, classmates who are all future colleges, and my harshest critics. My room, which should feel like a safe space, now feels like a suffocating rehearsal hall. On the wall, I've painted an inspirational poster. Be the chance you wish to see in the world. Ironically, right now, I just want to be an invisible shadow. On my desk lies my lesson plan, revised 6 times over. I've designed a trendy icebreaker, structured the material with advanced differentiated methods, even practiced a motherly smile in the mirror. But every time I run through my opening lines, the microphone feedback kicks in. Lyra, your voice is too soft. Students will walk all over you. Your take on the industrial revolution is too heavy. You'll be bored them to tears. I grab my phone trying to find validation on education platforms. I see posts from fellow majors who've already started field practice. Her name is Leah, glowing as she manages a chaotic class, and Nolan making the most complex physics feel like an addictive podcast. They all look like teachers already, while I'm still stuck in the will be passed, my operating system riddled with critical bugs. Anxiety isn't just about performance, it's about comparing identities. I remember when we studied a curtain theory. Ironically, I feel trapped in a space where I know what I should do, but anxiety is the thickest barrier of all. It stops me from reaching my true potential. I closed my laptop and head to the boarding house kitchen. I broke chamomile tea, hoping its calming skin can cut through the panic that's wrapped around me like armor. At dining table, I ran into Lucas, a laid-back fine art student, sketching quickly on a piece of a paper. "Why is your face so tense, Ra? Ready for a fight?" he asked, dragging Crockle across the page. Micro teaching tomorrow. I'm scared. Scared I can control the class, scared my voice will sound weird. I admire feeling a vulnerability I can hide. Lucas sets down his pencil. He looks at me, not with judgment, but with the eyes of an artist seeing something unique. Everyone's scared to stand on stage, Lyra. Even the art teacher I admire, he says. But she told me a teacher's job isn't to be perfect actor, it's to be a catalyst. He takes a fresh sheet of paper and starts doodling fast. He draws the teacher with an empathy speech bubble above their head, surrounded by students in all colors and expressions. "Look," he says, "students don't need Lyra or Nolan. They need the real Lyra, a teacher who shakes a little at the start but whose eyes light up with passion for the material, a teacher who owns their vulnerability is the most human one of all." He adds one small detail to the noodle, a tiny mute icon next to the teacher's speech bubble. "My job is to not let my internal negative feedback silence my true voice." I whisper to myself, repeating the words. The next day, I stand in front of the class. My heart is still racing, my anxiety clock still ticking, but this time I make a different choice. At the start of the presentation, I take a deep breath. Instead of forcing that fake motherly smile, I give a shy one. "Good morning, everyone. Honestly, I'm so nervous today," I say. A soft, relieved laugh ripples through the room. I hope that despite my jitters, we can learn something interesting about implementing Bloom's taxonomy. I wasn't perfect during the presentation. I mispronounced a term, had to pause briefly to gather my focus, but every time I stumbled, I didn't let the feedback throw me off. I just smiled, acknowledged the mistake, and kept going. When the micro teaching ended, I didn't get a perfect score, but I got something more valuable. Lyra, my lecturer said, giving feedback, your material and methods are excellent. But what stood out most was your honesty at the start. You managed to create a connection. I walked out of class no longer hearing that piercing feedback. I only heard my own voice, slightly raw but clear. On which day do you need to be brave enough to admire your cheaters today to build a genuine connection?